Soft costs for pre-construction, architecture and engineering fees, which came out to about $115,000, where we're at as of to date. And then some minor expenses came out of our owner's contingency to the tune of about $5,000. So we've expended about $270,000 to date, and just under $2 million left to spend. So, and as far as our timeline goes, as I said, demolition is completed. They should complete the outside patio and begin inside construction this week. And then our goal is to have this project, as far as the clubhouse, done by July 1st. And then right after that, we will begin the cart barn renovation, the parking lot lights, and the parking lot asphalt. And estimated grand opening is first week of August.
Have we selected the furniture yet, or?
We are in the process right now of selecting the furniture.
All right. These are great rules on faster.
Know the game of golf.
Do not take more than one practice swing. If you need more practice, go to the range. That's awesome. That's great. Considering we don't have a range either, but
If I could just add one note, is that we are going to be installing minimal parking lot or lights in the parking lot, and as a result, we are going to the design and review board on May 15th. But in advance of that, we are going to be sending a letter to the neighbors to invite them to a meeting so that we can just give them a heads up, because we had one light that's shown in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so because this is a change, and lights are always a very neighbor-sensitive issue, we wanted to just give them the heads up. More informational, this is what we're doing, and talk about hours of operation, that kind of thing. So we'll do that in advance of, actually, I think we're looking to have that meeting with the neighbors the first week in May, just as a courtesy.
good. And Ryan, how's our grass?
It's just there. Nothing's growing yet. just waiting for Mother Nature to warm up a little bit.
And a month
Consistently.
A month is enough time to renovate the cart barn and do the parking lot?
Yeah, they feel very confident that,
It's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Very exciting.
Ryan, Brian, free to go.
All right.
Thank
We
you.
do
Thank
need
you.
warm weather, because if this continues, it is creating a problem for growing grass. Ryan was being
Yeah.
kind.
Had a lot of bad dreams, but no, I'm good.
All right. Annette, you ready?
How about the moisture? Is the moisture okay in the soil, or is it just the?
Yeah, it's
Heat.
just
Just too cold.
Eugene?
yeah.
See what they did? They were going to turn on the sprinklers at the games to melt the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, could
Is that how they did it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That they get the game at
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You'll be back.
Okay, Annette and Annette,
You.
bond compliance.
Bond compliance. So, in conjunction with the debt certificates that were issued on June 18th, 2012, the bond record-keeping policy was adopted by the board. Per the policy, the district agrees to keep and retain sufficient records to support the continued exclusion of interest paid on certificates 2012A and 2013, and general obligation limited tax park bonds 2016 and 17. This exclusion of interest paid is on federal income tax for the investor. So the post-issuance tax rules fall into two categories: use of proceeds and other requirements related to the private activity bonds test, and then the arbitrage yield restrictions and rebate requirements. Annually, which is today, the debt certificates and bonds, annually until the debt certificates and bonds mature, plus 3 years, a review of all contracts and records will be compiled to determine whether each issue complies with the federal tax regulations. So from the date of issuance till 3 years after they expire, we will go through the same process of reviewing the requirements related to private activity use of our facilities, and then the arbitrage yield on any of the investments. So to facilitate the review, Chapman and Cutler, which is our bond counsel, has provided the district with a checklist which provides just a methodology of compliance. It's something that they have been updating the checklist as well. They're keeping it up to date, so it's a guide for me to follow when I'm evaluating the arbitrage and then the private activity. The attached report summarizes the findings for the review related to the debt certificates and for the bonds. That's attached in your board packet. And the answer to this is the district is currently in compliance with the applicable tax law requirements and no further action is necessary at this time.
Okay.
So this is very procedural, but it's something that we need to do and we need to stay in compliance with. And it is an exercise that I take very serious.
Who's the compliance officer?
I am.
So you're the responsible party?
I'm the responsible party.
I'm
Yes.
glad you take it serious.
Thank you. It's not as fun as growing grass.
Not weather dependent?
It's not weather dependent. So that is the report.
Thank you.
Okay, and then review of vouchers?
The vouchers. The bills presented for the board's review on April 11th are checks written from March 23rd through April 5th, 2018. They total $1,272,113. They were all budgeted expenditures for 2018.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Great,
Thank you.
All right, does anyone from the public want to address the board tonight?
Can I just clarify, I'm from the Legacy Club condominiums, so we're very interested in what happens with the conversion of the golf course. On the community survey, if I'm trying to explain to my neighbors, okay, if you want to be sure you get the community survey, is it if you're signed up on the, to get the newsletter, that you'll be notified of the community survey?
I think it's just on our website.
Marshall?
No.
We send out it electronically as well, so if
Okay.
you're on the email list, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
then they would receive that invitation to the survey.
So that if you're receiving the Park District newsletter,
Yes,
you're on the email list and you'll get it.
yes.
Do you know how many people receive, how many email addresses receive our newsletter?
We have, about between 12 and 13,000 email addresses.
Okay. Wow.
You're talking about the newsletter that you get electronically via email, correct?
Yeah. that's
Okay,
all.
I just want to make sure you were talking about the brochure, which is mailed to every home, which is different. Okay, yeah.
So there's 12 or 13,000 email addresses are going to get this survey.
In our database, yes.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay, hearing no more, is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Open Meeting Act? Section 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline of the district, including legal counsel for the district. Section 2C5, the purchase or lease of real estate. Section 2C6, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the district. And Section 2C8, security procedures and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual or threatened or reasonable potential danger.
Yes, so moved.
Can I have a second? Kathy, can you call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein?
Aye.
Commissioner Flores Weisskopf?
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg? Vice President Ruttenberg? President Kaplan?
Aye. Show that the meeting adjourned and went into closed session at 7:05 PM.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Brian? That's fine.
David Linquist, new high school football coach. It's a scoop for you.
Hey, Ryan, remember when we went into the room where all the equipment is held?
Football Highland Park for years. And the new golf coach?
What is the brand of our equipment, of the